Hello, I am Professor Shantanu Datta. I'm the holder of the Dave and Jean Tappan Chair in Marketing at USC Marshall School of Business. Joining me today is my great friend and co-author Mark Bergen, who is the holder of the James D. Watkins Chair in Marketing at University of Minnesota. Mark?
Well, Shantanu, thank you for the invitation to join you today to discuss these important pricing issues. I bring greetings from Minnesota and look forward to our conversation.
Thank you, Mark. So today we are going to talk about pricing in times of crisis. And the metaphor that we're going to use is the N95 mask. The N95 mask is a powerful, iconic image. And by wearing those masks, you make it safe for yourself, safe for your family, safe for the society. And our goal is to do the same for pricing. We want to help companies make pricing decisions that are safe and healthy for the company, safe and healthy for their customer, safe and healthy for the society. During these challenging times, companies are looking to how to manage costs, how to manage profits, and those are good things to do. And when we teach pricing, we focus on efficiency. We talk about how you can use analytics, how you can use AI to make more efficient pricing strategic decisions. So why should we care about society? Why should we care about the social consequences of your pricing decisions? Business Roundtable last year said they redefined the purpose of a corporation is to promote an economy that serves all Americans. And not just Business Roundtable. 40 years ago, Margaret Thatcher said, there is no such thing as society. Fast forward today, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of the same Conservative Party, saying, there really is such a thing as society. So ignoring the social consequences of your pricing decision can be harmful for the survival of your business. Mark, take it.
Well, and this is especially true in pricing, Shantanu, where inattention to social realities can do real harm, lead to customer outcry, public outrage, and damaging businesses' ability to survive. And it's seen all around the current pricing landscape, companies across all industries, from Disney to Ticketmaster to internet providers like Bell Alliant. They're being slammed, making customers angry and livid with their pricing. Government and regulators are actively investigating pricing practices while grappling with their own difficulties with it. Think of the images you've seen on TV of state governors competing and bidding for ventilators, which may be efficient from an economic perspective, but has severe social consequences. Remember, they're bidding for people's lives. So we asked ourselves, how could we bring these social consequences into pricing? And we suggest drawing from medicine and how medicine brings society into their practice and professional training. Doctors, nurses, and medical professionals across all walks of the industry bring society in early and often, from the Hippocratic Oath to their training to their daily care of patients. And the tool they use is an area called bioethics. Bioethics emphasizes three core principles: social impact, justice, and empowerment. Social impact emphasizes doing no harm and doing good, foundational principles from across cultures, ranging from Confucianism to Christianity. On justice, we emphasize three central areas we think are especially critical for pricing: vulnerability, discrimination, and fairness, drawing on the work of scholars such as Rawls, Sen, and Fair. And on empowerment, we emphasize transparency, explainability, and dignity, building on work ranging from Kant to current work on AI ethics. It's important to note that none of these are new principles. What we're trying to do is find a way to help managers access these fundamental social principles in their pricing to enhance safety, survival, and success for companies and customers alike. Shantanu, why don't you explain how we can bring this into pricing?
Thank you, Mark. So we apply these bioethic principles to pricing decisions by asking three questions that are easy to ask, easy to answer, and easy to apply. The first question, can your prices block access to essential needs? So as managers, ask yourselves, what are you selling? Are you selling products and services which are essential during these times? So food, shelter, medicine could be essential during these times. Second, can these prices harm vulnerable groups? So as managers, ask yourselves, who are you selling to? Are you selling to elderly people? Are you selling to people who are sick? Are you selling to people who are socially discriminated against? As companies with all the analytics and AI, we can do a fantastic job of price discrimination. However, if this price discrimination further reinforces social discrimination, then the social consequences can be severe. Third, ask yourselves, can these prices take advantage of customers? So ask yourselves, is your pricing deceptive? Are you withholding information from customers that can make them make better decisions? Are you using your superior information to take advantage of customers? Or are you using information and sharing with customers to help them make better decisions? So we'll elaborate on each of these three filters next. Over to you, Mark.
Yeah, Shantanu, let's develop that first filter first. And these prices block essential needs. As Shantanu said, during crises, you have to begin by identifying what's essential in the lives of people and in your society. Interestingly, products like hand sanitizer that aren't essential in normal times can take on a new significance. And necessities like food, shelter, and healthcare can often become even more essential. The economist Arthur Okun suggested separating necessities and luxuries, saying economic considerations work well for pricing luxuries, but social consequences are more important for necessities. In fact, high prices have blocked access and led to huge public outcry for personal safety equipment like N95 masks, and hand sanitizer, and toilet paper. And this is not unique to the pandemic. High pricing in the pharma industry has blocked access to drugs for critically ill patients in the past, making those companies the poster child for social outrage on pricing. Yet companies don't have to price this way. Many companies have incorporated this social consequences into their pricing. Consider how the CEO at 3M is focused on access for N95 masks, how Amazon has limited pricing for healthcare products on its platform, and others in the pharma industry, like the CEO at GSK, have made social impact a central part of their pricing decision. This emphasis on social justice over profit was also suggested by Confucius during times of crisis back in his days when he was in China. Turning to the second filter and question, can these prices harm vulnerable people? We again have to ask, what's especially vulnerable for your society during crises? Note that low-income people are especially vulnerable to lost wages and unemployment, as can be seen in these headlines. The elderly and chronically ill are especially vulnerable to COVID-19, and groups that are discriminated against often bear even greater burdens during crises. As Shantanu highlighted, as pricers, we're very good at setting different prices to different people, a practice we call price discrimination. But when this price discrimination reinforces social discrimination, the social consequences can be substantial. Consider the pink tax, the higher prices for women than men across many goods and services that reinforce gender discrimination, or how AI and big data algorithms led Geico to charge higher prices for working class drivers than highly paid professionals, leading again to public outcry and costly lawsuits for the company. Yet you don't have to price this way. Companies can incorporate these social consequences into their decision-making. from maintaining wages for workers to lowering rents for low-income families, to Microsoft and Google providing subsidies for laptops and internet access for children in poorer countries. Shantanu, what about the third filter?
Thank you, Mark. So the third filter is, do your prices take advantage of customers? As Mark mentioned about Disney, during these pandemic times, the Disney parks are closed. But Disney continued to charge their annual pass holders the monthly payment. And there was tremendous customer outrage. And think what it has done to the venerable Disney brand image. And there are many homeowners, landlords who are not giving any subsidy or delaying payments to the renters who have lost their jobs. And even in non-pandemic times, many resellers on Amazon have alleged that Amazon has used the analytics to figure out which sellers are selling blockbuster products. They would go to the suppliers, buy the product in bulk, and then undersell these sellers. Uber, instead of using AI analytics to help their drivers, has used gamification, psychological nudges to get drivers to drive to places which are further away, takes more time, and it's less profitable. Companies need to identify how knowingly or unknowingly they're taking advantage of their customers. They don't have to do that. They can also make pricing decisions that help and empower customers. Like many landlords during this time have lowered their rents or given subsidy to tenants who've lost their jobs. Or companies like State Farm and other insurance companies have refunded premiums because drivers are driving much less. And even during non-pandemic times, companies like Expedia have revealed to customers the hidden fees that airlines charge so that customers can make better decisions. So applying our framework, if the answer to these three easy to ask, easy to answer, easy to apply questions is no, the great thing is you feel that you have taken actions to make your pricing decisions safe and healthy for your company, safe and healthy for your customer, safe and healthy for the society. If, on the other hand, the answer to any of the three questions is a yes, what do you do? We suggest step back and pause. First, think if there are other creative pricing strategies that allow you to maintain profitability while also getting desirable social outcomes. It's possible there may be other pricing strategies that allow you to do both, maintain profitability and also have a positive social outcome. If, however, you cannot do that, then be willing to compromise. Give up some margin, give up some profit, so that you have a positive social consequence, or you reduce the negative social consequences of your pricing decisions. Third, if you cannot compromise, then be transparent and communicate with all your stakeholders. Tell them what you're doing, why you're doing it. Transparency and frequent communication can help to reduce the negative social consequences of your pricing decisions. Finally, incorporate this pricing filter into your strategic pricing capability, as that will help you in your ability to compete successfully in the long run. We now elaborate these ideas in the next few slides. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Shantanu. Yeah, let's start with being creative. When you're in applying this framework, consider ways to maintain your profitability while limiting negative social consequences. Several companies have found ways to do this successfully. One of my favorites is Many, a Norwegian retail chain, and how they price their hand sanitizer. Caught between offering accessible prices and buyers hoarding at those prices, many retailers have turned to imposing restrictions on the number of bottles customers can buy, creating hassles for employees and for customers. Many priced its hand sanitizer in a creative way, at a normal price for one bottle and $100 for each additional bottle, successfully accomplishing both accessibility and reducing hoarding and hassles for customers and employees alike. Hyundai did similarly creative pricing during the last Great Recession and continues to do it in the current pandemic, as are many other automakers now. During the recession, most automakers cut prices, trying to increase sales, leading to price wars and reduced profitabilities for companies in the industry. Hyundai, however, priced differently, focusing on the key customer concern of losing their jobs. And rather than lowering prices, Hyundai kept their price but creatively offered customers a car return guarantee if they lost their jobs. This worked, generating tremendous sales for Hyundai at full price, helping them survive and succeed during the last Great Recession. Automakers have taken this lesson to heart today and are all pricing their cars more creatively during the current pandemic. Secondly, if there aren't creative options that can accomplish both, step back, as Shantanu said, and explore ways to compromise. You may have to give some profitability for major reductions in social consequences, and customers may have to endure some social consequences for major gains in your company's survival. Uber Eats has done a great job of this in the current pandemic, effectively helping restaurants survive by offering services, payment terms, discounts, and a variety of things to help them make it through the pandemic while still keeping enough profitability to be viable too. And good news for students coming back in the fall, book publishers have been exploring ways to do the same. But Shantanu, didn't Uber have to compromise on its surge pricing too?
Thank you, Mark. So beyond compromising and beyond creative strategy, it's also important for you to communicate in a transparent way with all your stakeholders. So take the example of Uber's surge pricing strategy. Over the years, Uber has faced multiple customer outrage about their surge pricing strategies during disasters and emergencies. Uber recognized the problem, but they also realized that they have to maintain surge pricing strategy in order to incentivize the drivers to also drive during these challenging times. So what did Uber do? They worked with the regulators to cap how high they would charge during these emergencies and disasters. They also let customers know ahead of time how much more they would be paying if they traveled during these challenging times. And Uber also said that any commission they earned during these emergencies, they would donate that money to the American Red Cross. So by compromising, communicating transparently and frequently with all their stakeholders, Uber was able to execute the surge pricing strategy while at the same time minimizing the negative social consequences of their pricing strategy. Finally, incorporate this pricing filter into your strategic pricing capability. We think that by incorporating this pricing filter, the social capability filter, it will be helpful for your long-term reputation, and it will help you in maintaining and strengthening the credibility of your brand. Mark and I have worked on strategic pricing capability, and what we have seen that companies are very good at building financial and economic pricing capability, but they don't pay as much attention to the social capabilities. And we think that paying attention to social capability is also important for maintaining the credibility of your brand and the long-term success of your company. Thank you.